Welcome everybody to another BAM production episode. I got my good friend Dee Dee Ruiz. What's up?
What's up? It's Dee Dee, by the way.
Dee Dee. Hey, well, I shouldn't be giving out your government name like that, man. We don't know who's watching nowadays, you know. Oh, I didn't even click go on here. There we go. So for the people tuning in on the podcast, I forgot to press play. Rookie move from me. But anyways, we're here with my good friend Dee Dee. We're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about our upbringing, and also about her business. You got a beautiful business going on, and that's slowly but surely growing, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great thing. I mean, I think that's really underrated, and it's kind of it's something that every dog. I mean, we were just talking before the show how I overlook. I'm a dog owner, and I overlook dog grooming for my kid,
taking care of your pets.
For my little baby pet, you know. So, but Dee Dee, we'll talk about that right now. Let's dive into the show a little bit, and let's talk a little bit about your upbringing, right? We briefly talked about it a little bit in when you got here. So let's go ahead and go into that a little bit.
So, I mean, I grew up just like pretty average, like everyone around here. I grew up in Soledad. Technically, I lived out in the boonies, Carmel Valley, Rose Seco area. So it's about like a 30-minute drive from Soledad, maybe 20 minutes from Greenfield. No cell phone reception, nothing like that. So definitely out of the loop for everything. I get home, no texting. Yeah, so it was pretty far out there. But yeah, like growing up, I played sports, went to school here in town in Soledad. Actually went to grade school with him, 5th and 6th grade. That's when we learned and like knew each other. He was actually super good. My mom loves him. So like we actually became really good friends that way. But yeah, I mean, pretty average other than that. And, my parents work good jobs. My mom's like a caregiver. My dad works at a ranch. So, and then I do have like siblings, obviously, like I have an older brother and a little brother, little sister. Shout out to them, by the way. Weenie, my older brother. Dumb nickname, by the way. I don't know why you guys call him Weenie, but shout out to him.
That's messed up. Does he still get called that to this day?
I think so. Whenever like people ask me about my brother, I'm like, oh, it's Robert, and they're like, who's Robert? I'm like, Weenie, and they're like, oh, Weenie. They get that click.
That's messed up, man.
Yeah, I don't know how that came about. But.
Oh man, that's hilarious. You did mention living out in the boonies. I'm gonna go ahead and dive into it. Is that why you think you kind of became this whole? You got this whole persona of being a dog lover, an animal lover?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, growing up with no one around, no neighbors, all we had were our dogs, our horses, So I spent all my time with our dogs. My dad, like I said, he was a rancher, and out there they also had like 10 ranch dogs, like the Pyrenees guarding the goats, and we had like a border collie that we used for herding. So that was my whole life, was definitely working and living around all dogs. So that's definitely where my fascination started.
Nice. Definitely. Probably one of your best friends there, huh? Your pets.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh, man. It probably... I don't even want to talk about that situation. If one passes away, that's probably a hard one for someone like you, right?
It's definitely super hard. I mean, we've had it happen more than once because we own so many animals. It's definitely disheartening, but they're always there. They
always, right?
They're always there. We never think about them in the past. We're like, oh, remember Jojo? He was great. Best dog.
Right. There we go. Jojo, R.I.P. Jojo.
R.I.P. Jojo. My first dog, actually, my first personal dog.
There we go. Man, the one day you had to take care of, right? Because everybody has those dogs, right? But you're just like, that's the family dog. It's not really my dog. There's no, initial bond. There we go.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, do you label yourself a pet lover, a dog lover, or just an animal lover? Because there's levels to it, For those of you guys that don't know, there's levels to this game, man. So what kind of work? What do you see yourself?
So it's kind of hard to really say. I do want to say I'm an animal lover, but reality is I do things that probably not animal lovers shouldn't really do. Like eating meat, things like that.
Ah, missed it.
I mean, we love them, but if that's the truth.
Right.
I would probably say more of a pet lover because
Okay.
Cats, dogs, horses, things that people own that we really like consider family. That's where I'm pretty much at. That's my whole job right there. It's just working with like your cats, dogs, and things like that.
Nice. talk a little bit about this. You just mentioned your job, right? Dog grooming. So what do you said you deal with all type of pets. Let me ask you this simple question real quick. What's your favorite pet to groom?
Oh man.
I'm giving you a wide variety, I know, but
so if I had to choose one, I would probably narrow it down to a toy or mini poodle. They have that type of coat that I can really play with, get really creative with. They have so many varieties of grooming, things I can do to them. Whereas with like a Cocker Spaniel, you have one particular style that they're in, and that's it. Poodles, you can turn them into a Schnauzer, you can turn them into a Bichon, you can turn them into whatever you want, and you can color them. I love doing color on dogs. So I can turn them into a little clown if I really wanted to. Nice.
Yeah. Little side question. Way off topic. What do you think about a lot of things one thing that's popular right now is those guys that cut the hair and do designs on horses? I see a lot of people get upset on the internet. They're like, "Oh, that's cruelty." What do you think about that?
So, to be honest, a lot of people think doing little things like that is animal cruelty. To me, working in the animal field, I do not think so. A lot of the animals that people are working on are obviously really well behaved, which means that they are working with them daily, desensitizing them. That means that they're around all the time. Same thing, like we get a lot of people who are against dyeing your dog's coat. People think it's really abusive, torture. In reality, a lot of the dogs that we dye are probably the best and well-maintained dogs because they're coming in regularly. They're, getting their coats combed out so they don't have these awful, painful mats and things like that. So when it comes to carving designs in animals, I definitely don't think it's animal abuse. To me, animal abuse, honestly, is just neglect. And if you're spending time with your animal and loving him and giving him food, that's not neglectful to me.
Yeah. There we go. All these Karens out here, man, I swear.
Don't be a Karen, please.
For real.
No one likes a Karen.
No one likes a Karen. Let's talk about your was that always part of the plan, going into this business, because that's what it is, right? It's your own business that you kind of grew yourself, right? I believe you have a shout out to your business partner. I believe you have a business partner.
Priscilla, that's my business partner. We've been A1 in the team since day one. We're going to be doing this for the rest of our lives, so just prepare for it. But yeah, she's my business partner. So shout out to Priscilla.
Yeah, was that always part of the plan or
no?
What was it?
The plan, was to become a veterinarian. That was always number one. Being a little girl or being a child, you think big dreams. You think I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer.
Yep.
Something big like that. Being a groomer isn't really considered a big thing, though it's very necessary. It's not something that people think about really. So so vet was A1. That was my number one goal. Obviously didn't happen, but I always knew I wanted to be in the animal field, and that's definitely where I'm at. And I could not be happier than where I am right now.
I think everybody that knows you were meant for the dog or for the animal field, pet field, whatever you want to call it. We knew Dee Dee's gonna work with animals.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. I literally had no question in my mind. We met 5th grade.
5th grade.
We met in 5th grade, and since I had known her, I swear I knew she. I think if I remember correctly, you were that one person that would, if the dog was in the middle of the road and there was a car coming, you'd run. Didn't care about the car coming. You would run and try to get the dog out of the way. And I'd be like, dude, seriously, over an animal? Well, I mean, I love dogs. I love pets. I love my pets. But at the end of the day, it's like, damn, dude, if it's going to happen,
risking something like that. No, I get it. I was always that person, which is funny because my dad is kind of more animals weren't really seen as pets or family. They're kind of just they're there for a job. They're there to
take care of the house.
To do something, exactly. They're for work. And they're not really there to be a child of ours. So it was really funny growing up like that and having a completely different view than what my parents or my dad particularly, had. But yeah, it was
the whole so the plan changed, obviously, going back to the question of was it always part of the plan? Was it something that you kind of saw it was an opportunity and you said, I'm going to take it? Or was it more of there was change of plans and some personal things happened and so you had to kind of look at a different route? Because there's kind of a difference there. A lot of people would get a little upset or not upset but discouraged because that route didn't work, right? And personal. Sorry guys, my buddy doesn't know when to call me. I'm live, bro. Come on. But anyways, or was it I was saying, was it something that kind of was something happened and then you had to revert, or was it more like this is another route, I know I could take it, I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna go for it?
I would definitely say it was a little bit of both. Like I said, the dream was always being a vet, and then things happened where I didn't go to college. I was supposed to go to UC Davis, ended up not doing that. Decided to stay in Salinas and go to Hartnell. And the plan was, to finish Hartnell, then transfer out again to UC Davis or even Oregon. But again, that didn't happen. So the opportunity kind of just came in. I was working part-time at first, at like JCPenney or something like that. And then I ended up getting a job offer at PetSmart for like a seasonal worker. And, ended up staying there for a good while through Christmas. They hired me full-time. And the trainer at that moment was actually preparing to leave out to Tennessee. So they were already actively looking for someone to replace the training position. So they actually reached out to me and they're like, hey, we think you would be like a great addition to the team for this. Like, let's send you out to academy, do this, get you in for training. So that's what I did. I went to school for dog training. So I ended up getting certified that way, doing all those things like that, learning all the psychology. Coming back, and I took over as head trainer at PetSmart for probably about a year and a half. Things happened where things, it just didn't work out.
Right.
And then there's actually a grooming salon in PetSmart, and the girls there reached out to me, and they're like, hey, I know you're not happy. Why don't you come over here, try us out, see what you like here. It can definitely lead you to better things. So I just signed on. I was actually doing part-time training and then part-time bather. Not a groomer, just a bather, because you don't need like any experience for that or any schooling for that. Ended up loving it. Went to academy again. I was out in like San Jose for like a month or something like that. Came back, did another whole year of training for grooming, and then I ended up sticking to grooming, which was pretty fun. And so, obviously I took to it really well. I still plan on like doing more with this. Right now I'm just the business owner and a groomer, but I do want to be a master groomer eventually, so I can go to competitions, compete. I definitely always want to do better and keep achieving more dreams, because this can take me so much more higher, and I'm like pretty eager to get to that step.
See, man, that's so. And she was telling me she's not an interesting person. Thank you. Man, you see, man, we had this is a beautiful thing, right? How many dog groomers come out of Saudade? I give you 0 right now. I don't know any dog groomer right now, especially anyone I think you're competition ready, if you ask me. Have you guys go on her page? What's the Instagram? Tell them.
It's centralbarks.salon. So you can definitely see our work there.
There we go.
We do definitely do like a lot of home stuff, like shave downs, easy cuts, get them comfortable. But when we get that work where we can really bring out our creativity, that's where we come out.
Nice, man. That's awesome. I swear, I think it's pretty dope that you're doing this, because there's nobody doing it right now, and it's kind of like everybody likes barbering right now. That's kind of like the thing right now in our town, man. Who knows? You're gonna probably inspire some young, dog groomer out there, or pet groomer out there, to go ahead and pursue what you're doing as well. So,
yeah.
I had to have you on here, man. Especially it's something like that people overlook so much. It's just so crazy to me how it's like I'll cut my own dog's hair, but then it's like that's like it's like your kid, man. Like, you're just gonna freaking give your kid a bowl cut for the rest of his life. Like,
some people do, and then. Don't get discouraged. We get so many people that come in like, hey, I gave my dog a haircut, but it didn't come out the way I thought. It wasn't as easy as I thought. So can you just like fix me up real fast? And we do it,
Oh, man.
It happens.
My poor dog. You should have seen my poor dog, Pobrecita. She was all shaved up, all nasty. It is what it is. Trying to save a buck or two, but my fault. So what was, I do want to know, I am a little curious, how did that process go for you? The whole opening your business, because you told us you got in right at Petco. Was it Petco or PetSmart? PetSmart. And then you went to schooling and stuff, but like you could have always came back and worked for them, right? But did you come back and work for them and then decide to go do your own thing, Or was it somebody that came up to you and was like, hey, check this out, let's do this?
Right.
Or was it more like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it?
So I did come back to PetSmart. Was there for a good 2 years. I was actually the salon manager for a while. And what ended up like really pushing me over was just working for the corporate. You know, it's not for everybody. It's like someone's asking you to do certain things that they have no business like knowing. So pretty much they would say, take in this super aggressive dog because the owner is really upset that you can't do it.
Oh, wow.
So they would really, push you to do things that you maybe weren't comfortable doing, or, just, really brought you down. So I feel like the decision was essentially made because I wanted to kind of do what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be stuck doing what they were telling me to do. Also, I mean, like, the clients weren't always nice. They knew corporations. Hey, I complain, I get a free something.
Karens.
So it was, and unfortunately, like, we got paid through commission. So if they got their money refunded, that was money that we lost, and we did all the work. Damn. So, I mean, it was kind of an unfair thing for us to go through these really difficult things and just not get compensated for it.
Right. I see that. I see why you would kind of be like, oh, I need to branch out. Yeah. And so the whole process, finding the spot, from creating the name, wow, like, because that was a clever name.
That was Priscilla, by the way.
That was really clever.
Shout out to Priscilla again. She came up with Central Barks. I think she was like watching Friends. And she was like, oh, Central Perk. What if we name it like Central Barks? And we're like, hey, that's actually a really good name. Because we were like between like something like Virology or like, I don't even remember like half the names we came up with. But Central Barks just like clicked. And yeah, everyone who like sees it, they're like, wow, that's a pretty like, that's a fun name.
Yeah, it's like a t-shirt name, man.
Yeah.
Have you guys thought about that?
We have t-shirts, but for employees. We don't have t-shirts that we want to sell just yet. Hopefully this coming year we can. But we'll see.
Stay tuned. By the way, speaking of t-shirts, you could always get mine. Mine's out. Go ahead and check out my website. Link on the bio, and go ahead and buy whatever you guys want. Any merchandise is available. You use the promo code BAM3282, and you could get a 20% discount on there. Go ahead and check it out. I do want to interrupt a little bit because I see a lot of people tuning in. Priscilla's on here, of course.
Hey,
let me see who else is here.
Priscilla.
I gotta go around the table, man. I gotta get easier access to this. Let me see. Any comments? I think it's just people tuning in.
If you have any questions, by the way, like you guys need something regarding your pets, like feel free to ask me too. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Caitlin said hi.
Caitlin?
Yeah. Everybody's on here. But yeah, any question that you guys may have from my good friend Dee Dee here, go ahead and either reach out to her, drop it here right now on the comment section, or you could go ahead and next to the comment section there's a box with a question mark on it. Go ahead and leave it on there as well, and we'll answer it before the show's over. Pretty sure you don't mind that, right?
No,
you can answer some questions. You can answer. I mean, you did it. You told me you were doing this, man. You didn't even practice. You didn't even.
I mean, it was kind of like I was trying to read through the question that you had for me, but then
you were like, I'm
it's
just gonna...
hard, like going back and forth, constantly like. Being at work is definitely really hard because you can't really keep your eyes off the dogs because they do full attention. They do some pretty dumb stuff sometimes. Like they'll try to like literally jump off the table while you're like reaching over to get something. So I have to like be watching. What's
the silliest thing a pet has done while you're trying to groom it?
The silliest thing, man, dogs do a lot of dumb stuff. I
know.
We have a dog who, like, there's the thing called the anal gland expression, which is pretty bad. It's pretty gross. It's like the thing behind their butt, it's like their anal sacs. You have to squeeze it out to get all the poop juice out. That's why their dogs can smell sometimes. It's because the anal sacs need to be relieved. But, we squeeze it and it, like, shot out, and it shot out to our coworker's face.
Oh.
So...
Damn.
That's not what the dog did, but that's like the first story that pops in my head because that was like one of the things that's like engraved in my mind when I see like funny stuff at work.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's nasty.
Is that pretty much like one of the nastiest things that happens?
It's one of the nastiest things that could happen is like poop in your face and your mouth. Yeah, you don't want that.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
What about do they ever like jump out and then you like, overdo it? Does that happen
that's
often?
happened to, yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't name a groomer that hasn't like buzzed a dog once or twice. Like,
how do you make up for that? You guys are awesome, dude.
Oh, I mean, you can. I mean, when it happens, you just got to be honest. Like, hey, so-and-so, we kind of went a little short here. I mean, can offer it for free today or something, kind of just try to compensate for it. But it's really like embarrassing when you have to do that because you're just like, ooh, you ruined someone's hair.
So I'm kind of curious. How do you guys like? Is it like on that table, like on the dog shows when they put them on that table and is that pretty much how it goes on?
Yeah, it's pretty much how it goes out. So we have like this huge table, like a groomer's arm. We hook them up to their neck. If they're like bracky dogs, which means like they're like can't breathe really well, like Frenchies or bulldogs and things like that. They go over the shoulder. And so we kind of just leash them up and hopefully they don't jump out. Yeah, because like I said, some dogs do just try to like go and run, or some dogs will like alligator roll and kind of try to like
jump out of there.
Yeah, no, or choke themselves, and they'll do that too sometimes. It's pretty crazy.
Dogs, you gotta love them, right?
Yeah,
they're like little kids. I do see a question though. I wonder who left one. I'm pretty sure it's just the hello. Oh no, that's not it. Oh, here we go. Joseph Molina. How was the first day out of high school? That was his question. Come on, Joe, you gotta give her a better question than that, man.
How was the first day out of high school?
Gee, that's a long time ago, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, feels like 10 years ago, 6 years ago?
Dude, it's been like 6 years, something like that, man. We're getting old, I swear.
I don't even remember like what I did the day after, to be honest.
Enjoy the first day of summer vacation, duh, Joe. What do you think? We're just gonna, go into business right away, or what? Come on, Joe.
I think I'm gonna work that next day. I'm pretty sure,
Dang.
Yeah.
Never mind. If you're Dee Dee, you go to work right the next day.
I'm pretty sure I went to work the next day because I don't remember it, so it must have been boring.
Yeah, it happens. So I do want to ask you, if you could do this whole process all over again, would you do anything different? Would you keep it the same? Has everything been kind of what you've planned?
It's really hard to say, honestly. I mean, if I can redo everything over, I would have probably liked to go to college and, gone to school, become a vet, do all that good stuff. But I'm actually super happy with where I am right now. So in this aspect of, today, what I'm doing now, the only thing I would have probably changed is better preparing myself to like run a business. Mm-hmm. Maybe taking business classes or doing things like that. Because I kind of just went into it, no experience whatsoever about money management, how to run a business, what to do, legality stuff, like taxes, things like that. I just kind of winged it. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of living a corporate life. I want something on my own, and then just didn't even prepare.
That's awesome. But that's awesome at the same time, because it's like, I think that's the first part of getting over that hump to kind of do what you want to do, what you believe in, and now that's kind of a hard thing to do. A lot of people, it's hard even for myself, right, to make that big leap and just decide, I'm gonna go full into a business, forget corporate, forget that world. It's a huge risk. And I mean, yeah, you're learning but that's you got to learn, eventually you learn little by little. Sometimes if you don't have a mentor to help you through it, which I'm pretty sure, I mean, who's gonna teach you, right? Who you gonna base your work off of? You gotta kind of surf and look, kind of like how when I had Cueva on here, right? Like we talked about, how firefighting for him was kind of something that he had to, learn by himself and trip over by himself because he had nobody to kind of guide him until he kind of started seeking. But I do want to ask, that kind of goes to my next question: who's somebody that's helped you along this process, or somebody that's kept you motivated through this whole process?
So, I mean, I definitely had a lot of help because it was pretty discouraging at first.
Right.
We weren't a success like the first day, not even the first 2-3 months. It took a long time to really build clientele, to really get like people coming in on the regular. And then after COVID, we had to close down for like 4 months. So we just hit a year of being open. So being open for 6 months and then right when we were about to actually start getting steady income and steady profits,
boom, COVID
hit.
Dang.
And we were shut down. And then people were starting to not show up to, to their...
Oh.
But, hey again. So it was definitely a challenge, but I actually have a really good buddy, Armando, who works at a different salon. He was actually one of my mentors too. He taught me how to groom from the start. So, he's always encouraged me to do more. He's actually going to be coming over with us this coming month too. So we just added him to the team.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's great. But he always was pushing me. There was another groomer, her name's Taylor, who moved to Oregon now. She actually did mobile grooming. So it's not like a shop where you come to drop off your dog. She goes to your house and her own van, and she has everything set up there, which is actually where I was gonna do that first, do mobile grooming. But then I realized I don't know how to drive a truck. So it would have probably not been a really good idea, because I would have been crashing. I'd crash my car now, and that thing's like easily to drive.
Come on, Dee Dee.
Yeah,
Come on, Dee Dee.
So it would have been a disaster. So shop would have been a better idea for me. Obviously, Johnny always encouraged me. He's always been pursuing me, like he lets me do what I want to do. I have so many crazy ideas. I'm like, you know what? I want to start this time. He's like, you go for it. Do it. Yeah. He lets me do whatever I want to do. I mean, he's sometimes like, well, why aren't you trying to do it? Because I'm the kind of person sometimes, like, I started like I love crystals, so I started like buying crystals and trying to resell them because I just had so many of them. And he's like, I have like this whole room full of them. He's like, you need to get rid of these. I'm like, I don't know.
Maybe I'll keep them.
Yeah,
that's the hoarder, man.
It's a hoarder to me. Honestly, I honestly just did it so I can buy all these crystals and say like, yeah, I'm gonna sell them, and then I never do.
Oh my God!
I just keep them.
Caught you, man. Caught you.
Yeah.
Caught you lying, Johnny. Get her to sell those crystals, dude. Tell her, it's time for them to go. By the way, congrats on your guys' engagement.
Thank you.
Johnny, congratulations. I hope you see this later on today. I do want to ask you kind of touched a little bit on it. How was COVID in your business? I know that was tough for everybody. A lot of businesses, a lot of them are closed down, or some of them even raised their rates because of it. Some of them overcame it, right? Like food businesses overcame it a little bit and started doing takeout, I know, different businesses, they adjusted and they kind of had to do something different in order for their business to succeed.
Yeah, they had to kind of.
What did you guys do to keep it going?
So, I mean, it was definitely really tough, like, getting back into it after COVID. Obviously, we were super nervous about catching something, just trying to be as safe as possible. Because at the time when we just reopened, there was, like, this talk from the CDC that dogs can actually transmit the virus, because they can live in their when people are kissing their dogs,
right,
loving them, hugging them, and then taking them to us, like, we have to hold them and things like that. So that could have been an area where we could have been, like, easily prone to, to it or something like that. We struggled, definitely. We were shut down for 4 months, no income. It was really hard. We made it through our savings account barely, like literally that month that we were able to open up. That was like our last month that we were able to make it through safely. If we had been closed down another month, we would have probably had to shut down the business. But now getting back into it, we're kind of more in the groove. What we've really been facing is people who haven't been coming into their appointments. I'm not sure if it's because they're scared of coming out or, something happening. So we've had to start implementing so many new policies because we need to save our, our livelihood.
Right.
That's our money. That's how we make our money. So people not coming into their appointments was definitely starting to hurt us again. We'd be there for 8-10 hours and do like one dog because people were not coming in or canceling like 30 minutes before their appointment. Minute. Yeah, so it was definitely another challenge getting into it. Now we're doing so much better. I mean, there's construction going on though in our street, so that's another downfall right there.
Yeah.
But we've gotten so much better. Clientele starting to pick up again. People are feeling more comfortable going out, doing like their normal routine again. So, luckily, we've been staying afloat.
There we go.
That's the word, staying afloat.
Hey, well, my dad has this saying, God, ¿qué dice? ¿Qué dice? He says it in Spanish. Dios aprieta pero no ahorca, right? So
Okay.
he'll squeeze you, but he won't choke you out.
Right.
You know, he won't put you to sleep.
Well, he's definitely been squeezing us.
Yeah.
We're struggling for a little bit.
So he's squeezing business right now, definitely,
Yeah.
I tell you.
Yeah.
But hopefully, you know, best luck for all of them, especially yourself, right? Best luck to you all, man. I do hope you guys, a lot of businesses make it, especially local businesses, man. I hate to see the local businesses.
There's been so many small, you know, businesses that we've seen on our street even that have closed down because of it. You know, like one of my favorites, Crema. It's a, you know, breakfast place.
Is it on that area?
That one's actually in a PG, but they just closed down like a couple weeks ago just because of COVID. You know, people weren't able to go anymore, and you know, because it was like a drinking place too, you know, just to have like your brunch and things like that. So it's been really sad. We have a couple clients who owned their businesses too, who have gone through some hardships, you know, having to close down their businesses, or like their kids who have businesses having to like stop and struggle and, you know, worry about not being able to, you know, support their employees or things like that, which is also another tough thing to do because everyone depends on you to pay them, and so that way they can have their livelihood as well. That's
tough, man. Like I said, best luck to everybody. I hope there's ways to get around it. I mean, you gotta kind of think out of the box a little bit with this, just because, I mean, it's just so many limitations, right? There's so many things that you gotta go around, but you know, best of luck to everybody. I do want to ask, I do have a question. I have a question of the ultimate goal that you have with your business, right? You guys, but I do want to ask, I'm not sure if that's part of the answer, but I do want to ask, do you ever plan on expanding and bringing one to Soledad, or do you taking it to Monterey, or, you know, a different town?
So, not necessarily. The reason why is because there's not enough grooming to go around in every city or every town. Unfortunately, like we do get a lot of clients, but not everyone who has a dog decides to go to the groomer.
Right.
So if we were to open up like one here, all the clients that we currently have residing in Soledad would probably come to this one. So that's taking away like revenue from the other location.
Right.
So essentially we're paying for two different businesses but getting the same amount of money.
Right.
So, but what we do want to expand is essentially maybe growing the business into maybe like a boutique, selling food, selling treats, possibly dog training, because, you know, I'd love to do dog training for a little bit. Things like that. You know, obviously getting more people in is definitely a big goal. Right now we're adding 2 more people. We just got Marcy in. Shout out to Marcy too. But
so right now, what's the most difficult task that you've kind of found yourself in as a business owner? You did mention the difficulty in you know, learning the whole business aspect of things, which taxes, all that good stuff. But let's throw in like let's throw it on the table. What's the most difficult thing that you've day after day you have to come and you're like, dang, I'm not happy to do this at all?
Day after day, I would definitely say customer service. Where we are, it's definitely a very, you know, high-strung area. We get a lot of people who like to complain. You know, something that we definitely do not tolerate at the salon is harassment, or if you're making us feel less than what we are. We are doing something for you. We don't have to do that for you.
Right.
So if you're being rude, or, you know, being like, you know, just a Karen, best believe, like, you know, we do kick people out for that. But that's never fun, you know. It's not easy. We don't like the conflict. We hate to do it. But it has to happen sometimes. You know, we've had a couple, you know, people who have came in and been, you know, obviously everyone in the salon, we're all Hispanic. You know, we very much look Hispanic. And we've had people who have issues with that. You know, they've straight up told us, oh, we don't like you. You guys, you know, we don't like the looks of this, you know. And that's it's offensive. You know, who says that to people, you know? So we had to let people go because of it. But we also had them running back, you know, like a couple months later, that same exact lady actually was calling and calling and calling. And I had to tell her, you know, what you said was not nice. It was offensive, and we're not going to allow you back. So, I mean, you're more than welcome to go to A, B, or C groomer and see if they take you.
Yeah, heck yeah.
You know, so...
That's so disrespectful, man.
It's extremely disrespectful.
I'm sorry you have to deal with people like that. I could not.
I mean, it happens, and I get it. We get a lot of people, you know, a lot of people are very, like, protective of their dogs, which I get, because I am the same way.
Right.
I can be that annoying person. But there's, like, a line where it's, like, you're being overprotective but understanding, and being overprotective and rude. And, like, where it's, like, you know, just something that we don't tolerate.
Yeah, I get it. No, that's terrible.
It's terrible. It's a terrible thing to do. It's a terrible thing to...
Don't be Karens.
Yeah, don't be Karens, please.
I do have a comment here from Mr. Terry. Great job. Keep up the great work and keep moving forward. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Terry.
That's for you right there. And Mr. Terry, shout out to Mr. Terry, man. He got me the banner that's behind me. He's a big supporter of what, you know, his students do. So shout out to him. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. I appreciate you, man. But yeah, let's talk a little. You talked a little bit about you know, having to face these, you know, Karens that are super racist. I do want to end this whole interview with that question. What do you take from this whole BLM and this whole racism thing going on? And then one message that you could give out to people right now about sharing just positive vibes.
Honestly, the only thing I can really say is, you just gotta treat people with respect.
There we go.
Like, I mean, I don't understand
the necessity in that.
You know, there's no reason someone has to be better than someone else. You know, we're all the same inside and out. There's no reason to be rude, disrespectful to any single person. We all have things that we have to go through. It doesn't make you better than anybody else just because you live a certain way or do things a certain way. Like with the BLM and, like, you know, Blue Lives Matter, which I mean...
All lives matter. We know it. We know it. And I'll say it. We all matter, right? Latino, white, black, whatever you may be. We all matter. And it's not, and that Black Lives Matter thing is not about only Black Lives Matter.
We're just trying to bring that equality in.
Yes,
you know? Like right now, the problems like this, and we're just wanting to kind of flatten it out, you know, make it even for everybody else. Even though, like, we're not, you know, black or anything like that, we're still Hispanic, and we can still experience.
Yeah, you just spoke about it.
You know, I've experienced it all the time. Even though people consider me more of, like, you know, the whitewashed type of Mexican, which I can be, but don't think I'm not.
We all are.
So pura Latina.
There we go.
Here, right?
There we go.
But we just have to treat people with respect and honestly just love everybody that you can and care for one another. That's how we're gonna make the world be better. Yeah. One thing I do want to add is, you know, it's funny because then you just said they think you're whitewashed, right? Well, when you go to Mexico, that's what they think of all of us, that we're all whitewashed. We're all whitewashed.
Yeah, that we're all like, hey, tú no eres de Mexico. And then when we're here, we're like, hey, tú no eres de America. So it's like, dude, I'm not from there and I'm not from here. Like, where the heck am I from then? So, but just treat everybody with love, respect. You know, treat people like how you want to be treated. It's the simplest, easiest book on the trick. You know, that's the easiest trick in the book. It's simple.
Honestly, just be a good person.
Yeah, didn't someone teach you? Didn't they do that on Kinder?
Just be a good person. Like, that's all it is. And if you don't know how to be a good person, I mean, I don't really know what to say after that. But
I think some of these Kinder teachers, they dropped the ball, man. They dropped the ball. That's what they teach you in Kinder, man. How to be nice and be a good person and play with everybody, share.
You know, open doors for people.
There we go.
Say thank you, please. Things like that takes you a long way. Trust me.
Not saying I don't like your Miss Dog Groomer. I need a white dog groomer.
Yeah.
Come on. Easy stuff. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the show. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. Thank
you for having me. I'm super surprised actually that you asked. Like I said, I don't live an interesting life, guys. Honestly, like, I'm the boringest person in the world. But it's really nice, and it's a huge compliment for him to even think of me to come on the show and, you know, talk about my life and, you know, my experience with owning the business and things like that.
Well, I think it's a story to be told, right? I mean, like I said, the next dog groomer could be watching right now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you think you're gonna be a veterinary, like everyone, like, you know, we all do. We all think we're gonna be doctors and lawyers, but, you know, eventually you start seeing somebody else and you start thinking, hey, maybe I could do this too. I do enjoy working with pets. I necessarily do not wish to go to school for. I mean, I don't know how long do you go to school? How long do you go to school for?
For a groomer, you go for
vet. Sorry.
For a vet, that's like 4 years.
Yeah.
Like after your general.
You know, maybe I don't want to go to be a vet for the next 8 years, 4 years, whatever it may be. But I do love working with pets. So here's an idea, right?
Yeah, there's always lots of fields out there for anything that you're super interested in. So like me, dog lover, there's like 10 different things you can do with your life that involve dogs.
There we go.
You know, that honestly make a great living. Like I love my life, I'm not gonna lie. Like I love what I do, love what it does for me.
Living your best life.
Living my best life. It's what it is. Although there are some hard things to do every now and then, it's honestly, there's nothing for me to complain about.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
There you go. So if you're interested, you know, always hit her up. I'm pretty sure she's always happy to help and give tips or, you know, explain her story so that way you kind of, you know, get a feel for it and, you know, you jump into it yourself. You jump into it yourself and get it done. But yeah, thank you guys, everybody that tuned in, everybody that's watching after the fact after I've posted on my IGTV or on my podcast. Thank you guys for listening. It's also on YouTube. I forgot to mention it's also going to be on YouTube. So everybody that goes on YouTube and checks it out, thank you guys as well. Dee Dee, thank you again, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Also, if you guys do need your dog to be groomed, hit her up. Central Barks.
Hit me up.
What?
Centralbarks.salon.
Centralbarks.salon. There we go. That's my list, man. It doesn't let me talk. Also, shirts. Link on the bio. Check it out, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good rest of your night.